What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. So back in the 90s, 2000s, I believe we get some stupid stuff now. We all have some really, really crazy fitness myths that we believed, right? And there are some really, really crazy ones, right? Like here's one that barely anybody followed, but back in the day, to get your skin tight and dry, I'm not playing. One time before a photo shoot, I actually put Preparation H, rubbed it on my stomach, wrapped my lower abdomen in saran wrap, that's right, plastic wrap, and slept in it overnight with the thought that it would make my abs better. Not playing. But that's something a very, very small amount of people did. So it was the craziest fitness myth I believed. And that was the thought that if you skip your post-workout shake, that your workout does not matter. That what you just did for 60 to 120 minutes in the gym did absolutely nothing. So there's one time I remember, man, I was training at Bally Total Fitness. I was in college. There was this trainer, I'll never forget him. His name was Eric. And he was this black dude, but the dude was always shredded, always in shape. I remember he had his pecs were just perfectly chiseled, just bubbly biceps. I'm like, this guy is jacked. I remember one day we trained. He's like, man, after we were training, I kid you not, he literally was in a hurry. He's like, I gotta go. I forgot my shake at home. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, if I don't get my post-workout shake in within the next half hour, everything we did does not matter. And I'm thinking to myself, man, none of my workouts have mattered for the past 5 years. Because I'm 18 years old, right? I'm like, oh my God. So from that point on, till I was in my mid-20s, if I didn't get my post-workout shake in, I thought for sure that I was completely missing the whole point of working out, that everything I did didn't matter. So the bottom line is, we know now that post-workout nutrition, that it lasts for a good 24 hours, meaning that your protein synthesis, the effects from training, the food you eat, the protein you eat in the 24 hours after that, that's when it matters. It's not just for 2 hours. It's not just for 30 minutes. It's for a day after you train. Let's talk about pre-workouts. See, a lot of them just get you spiked and then you crash. The crash is crazy. When I take a pre-workout, I don't want my heart beating out of my chest. I can't do a set to failure with that. No, I want something that gets me focused. I want my mind to just go, I'm gonna get all the weight. I want my body to feel like I can go crush it, make the gains of my life. That's why the pre-workout I use is Ambrosia Kinetic. Ambrosia Kinetic is the greatest mushroom-enhanced mind and body performance booster pre-workout ever created. Go to TigerFitness.com now. That's TigerFitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And you get 10% off, not just Kinetic, but the entire site. Go to TigerFitness.com now, save and make the gains you've been wanting. So while there's nothing wrong with getting protein and carbs in right away after training, and it might even make a very, very, very tiny, non-measurable difference in your results, it just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, get in the protein you need. What I recommend, what the International Society of Sport Nutrition recommends, is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I like to get enough fat to make sure everything's running correctly. That's 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight. And I fill the rest with carbohydrate. Do you need carbohydrate? Not necessarily, no. It's not an essential nutrient. It's not essential like essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. But you know what? We have data demonstrating that it might help you train harder. It might help you make more gains. We're not going to argue that, but whatever diet you're using, it'll work. As long as you're getting adequate protein, you're going to get most of the results. So I find this hysterical because there was a time when nutrient timing was the next big thing, right? We were focusing so much on it. John Berardi did a ton of stuff on it, right? He even had this diet where he didn't combine protein and carbs and fat. He would only combine protein and carbs or protein and fat and then have the protein and carbs around training, which was cool, but it's kind of overthinking things, right? Get your macros in, you'll be good to go. But we've progressed so much, and we've progressed in that we realized that all of these hypotheses, that nutrient timing would be the next big thing, would add a lot to someone's program, really didn't amount to much. Now, a lot of it came from training studies from a guy named Tipton. Tipton did a lot of the studies on carbohydrate and nutrient timing around training. And even Tipton himself said it would take years and years of just stringent adherence to this to even notice any benefit. And this is the guy who did the studies, who had the data. So what I found really funny is that out of all these studies, out of all this data, we go back to the basics. You train really hard, right up to failure, or slightly beyond, just to make sure you went there, right? We know that's good. You don't overtrain, yet you have to train really hard. There's that balance. You want to go right up to that point where you're stimulating, yet you're not annihilating, like Lee Haney said, right? And as for diet, we've gone into timing this, timing that. If you look at the old school guys, they ate a lot of protein. And as they got close to the show, they kept their protein high, but they cut out the junk, where they cut out the carbohydrate. They cut out some of the junk food, some of the fat. So we've basically regressed to the basics. What works? Train really hard, rest enough to recover from the training, get adequate protein, and eat your carbs. Whether you get that post-workout shake the minute your workout ends, or 3 hours later, or even 6 hours later, as long as you get in enough protein and macronutrients throughout the day, you will be just fine. And it goes that way for steroids too, right? All these new things, newfangled things, this and that. People are still running a testosterone base. Keep it simple. At the end of the day, don't overthink things. Read all the data you can, do all the studying you can. But when it comes down to it, whether you're training body part split, AKA bro split, upper, lower, full body, get your adequate sets, around 5 sets a week up to that point of failure per body part. Split it however you want. Just make sure you train with enough volume for each body part, whether it's split up 3 times a week or you do it all 1 time a week. Just get that in, get an adequate rest, train 3 to 5 days a week, maybe even 6 if you recover fast. Feed yourself well, rest when needed, get good sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, and you're 99% there. So that is my story. What is yours? I want to know yours. Comment down below. I really want to see this. And of course, we got a sale going on right now. TigerFitness.com. Our New Year sale is here. Save 20% off for the next couple days at TigerFitness.com. Just go there. No coupon code needed. Go to TigerFitness.com. New Year's sale going on now. Support us and save. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Click on that notification bell. And remember, that's not a game.